Pimblett is an animal. He's that good.
By TKO, Paddy the Daddy.
Welcome to UFC Unfiltered.
Please tell me that's on video. I've never been happier.
I'm made for a fucking podcast. That's dangerous. Listen to me, we're at it. Welcome to UFC Unfiltered, a UFC and Fanatics original production. Today, Jimmy's out spreading his comedy. Ben, the Bane Davis, so good to see you, man.
Oh, Matt, it's fantastic to be back here with you, sir.
It feels like I haven't spoken to you, man. It's been a little bit.
It's been some time. I had to go on a reality TV show, get my ass kicked a little bit, but now we're back. We're in the combat sports sphere.
Wait. You can't just skip right over that. I'm gonna ask you about your reality show experience. And we got RJ Clifford coming in, a long-time MMA. Would you call him a journalist? Yeah, he was a broadcaster on Sirius for a while.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so he's got a lot of, he's a former long-time radio host, and we're going to talk to him. And we also have the great Paddy Pimblett coming on, so it's exciting.
We got everything.
But first, Ben, tell me about this reality show. What were you doing?
Well, if you're familiar with MTV's The Challenge, I was just on season 41, which 41 seasons. Matt, Serra, that is a very long, long run for any show.
Is that a record? Is that a 41? So.
Yeah, we were in Chile filming for a month, and it was insane. It was a wild experience, but now we're back, healthy. Here.
All right. Did it go? Are we going to be able to view this, or it's already aired?
July 30th on MTV is when it all kicks off.
Hey, let's get MTV to make a comeback. Hey, listen, Ben, you're a young man, but I grew up on MTV. I used to have the Yo MTV Raps t-shirt. You know what that is?
I have no clue. But
Ed Lover and Dr. Dre, but it's not the Dr. Dre you're thinking of. I don't know if he's still around. He was a big fat guy. And it was Dr. Dre and Ed Lover, and they would have just videos of rap videos, and it was Yo MTV Raps. I was 15 years old. Right now I'm 51, so this is ages ago.
And so that means it's perfect time for a comeback from MTV. Let's stick the music back in, and we'll bring Matt Serra back to the viewing audience.
I wonder if they still even got videos on that fucking channel.
I think it's just reruns of ridiculousness. I think that's all it is, 19 hours a day.
that might have 41 seasons. That show's been on a while. Hey, when we get RJ Clifford in here, I want to ask him a couple of things. And, maybe I'll ask you as well. I'm sure you watched the fights over the last week.
I did. I tuned in. And no, you can't. Charles Oliveira fight, that's must-see TV. Alexandre Pantoja, appointment viewing, in my opinion. And, Matt, there's been some thoughts over the 2025 UFC year, right? But 317 is a shining spot. This was a fantastic card from top to bottom.
There was a lot of finishes. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you, and I'm going to bring this up because Ilia Topuria is really becoming a superstar. It feels like overnight. It feels like, wow, this guy appears and then he goes on this tear, and the list of the guys he just beat in the last 3 fights is just kind of.
What's a better 3-fight win streak? You've got Oliveira, Holloway, and Volkanovski. He's the most followed active UFC fighter at 10.5 million Instagram followers. We talk about superstars, right? It's this kid right here, and he's 28 years young? Come on, there is so much left for the Matador to do.
Let's get RJ Clifford in on this conversation. All right, because I want to hear what he has to say about Ilia and about Pantoja, about a lot of things. RJ Clifford, come on down. RJ.
What's up, boys?
Nice to see you, man.
Good to be seen. Thanks for having me.
I thought that was an extended flex, but it just froze on you flexing. I go, this is starting intimidating. What's up, man? How are you?
Awesome. Appreciate you guys having me.
Now, you've been doing you've been hosting on Sirius for how long now? It's over. You just left it, correct? Your show.
I like to say I left it. They left me. You know, you can't fire me, I quit type of thing.
So the format, though, right? A little bit.
Yeah. So they're changing the channel to all pro wrestling and no more MMA and boxing programming. But I was there almost 15 years.
Wow, man, you and Jimmy have something in common because Jimmy Norton was working over at Sirius for 20 years.
Yeah, I remember.
He just recently left. So when you have something like that for that long and then it ends, is it a little scary? Is it exciting? So, all right, because you're used to that check. I don't know. I don't know how, if it was life-changing or anything, but you used to getting a steady check. Now you're not. But, you know, it opens up new doors. Where's your head at when you found out you weren't doing that any longer?
A lot of places. So, you always know it's going to come to an end, and 15 years in this business is a lifetime. So when I started there back in 2010, and if you would have told me you're going to be on these airwaves talking about your favorite sport for 15 years, you'd be like, jackpot. Like, that'd be my wildest dreams to have my own programming for 15 years. And so, you know, it always comes to an end. But yeah, I mean, it was sometimes like, you know how when like a celebrity or a politician or athlete passes away and it's just nothing but glowing reviews, like maybe they're controversial, maybe some people liked or didn't like them, but when they die, it's just like, this guy was great, he was wonderful. I feel like that was how it was at Sirius when they canceled it. Was the amount of like the response I got from listeners like brought a tear to my eye.
It's the silent majority, right? That have always been there, and you're like, "Damn, wish we had this." Maybe
I know. Where
vocalization.
Why weren't you guys in those SiriusXM boardrooms 6 months ago? You know, like, that would have been nice. But the response has been overwhelming, and you know, just within 24 hours of me tweeting out the news that that wasn't the case, I had 3 people hit me up with job offers. So I've been very, very lucky that. You know, there'll be some big things. There's some oars in the water, so to speak. I'll let you guys know what's coming up in the months coming.
Did you just say there's some whores in the water?
That's where I always keep my whores. Yeah, I like them mentally. Yeah,
they're good at swimming. Matt, his whores are good at swimming. I mean, come on.
I heard.
Have you seen the lats on those swimmers? Like, I love that. So we got to keep them working. Yeah.
So now, go ahead, Ben. What are you gonna say?
For sure. On that topic, 15 years is such a long time doing any production. Are there maybe standout moments from your experience with the show, things that were sentimental towards you over that tenure?
Man, you know, I liked, you know, because it was SiriusXM. It was obviously a company built on Howard Stern putting girls on Sybians, right? And so I was like, I wanted to show, you know, like Jim Norton's, right? I wanted a show where we can be irreverent, we can say what we want, you know, a show that I wouldn't want my niece and nephews to listen to, but I wanted all my buddies to enjoy, like something like that. And so it was the funny moments. So one of the moments I remember the most is we were supposed to get Dave Meltzer on the show, right? MMA and pro wrestling writer. And my producer at the time, he's like, "Hey, Dave Meltzer's agent hit me up and asked if he wanted to be on." I'm like, a writer has an agent? That's weird. I'm like, okay, yeah, of course, let's get him on. And it was the wrong Dave Meltzer. Oh, no. So we interviewed the wrong guy, and I figured it out like 6 minutes into it. And I just berated our producer Josh, and we did that for like 30 minutes, just joking and making fun of how dumb can you be, Josh? There's all these red flags, and you interviewed the wrong Dave Meltzer. How did you not figure this out?
I'm confused. Now, what did this Dave Meltzer do? Was he just a regular?
I still don't know. He's just a spy onto radio shows pretending to be the real Dave Meltzer. I don't know. I to this day, I still don't know what he does.
Oh, I would have tortured my producer over that.
We did. It was verbal abuse for the rest of that show.
I am curious though. Good. RJ, you've been so involved in the production side of many fantastic vehicles, but you've been in that cage before. 7 pro MMA fights, fighting in Strikeforce. Dude, I didn't know about this. How did you get involved on the actual combat side of things?
Well, that's what got me into it originally. I turned pro in 2006. So I was a college wrestler, and then I was doing jiu-jitsu in the off season, and then the jiu-jitsu gym, I was like, all right, let me pick up the boxing, right? They had a boxing class. Let me do that. And I'm like, you know what? I'm learning all these things. I might as well do it in the cage. And so I turned pro in 2006. There was no amateur MMA really back then. Amateur MMA was fighting in Tijuana. I live in Southern California. And then I was just like, what's the point of learning all this cool shit if you're not going to use it? So I thought it would just be something fun to do. And then it turned into 6 more fights and, a bad neck, bad back, bad elbows later. I said, okay, that's enough for me.
Oh, I hear you. I just got back from Colombia getting stem cells.
Did you get the whole body stem cell? Like I
got it through my body. Okay. I got it in my shoulders, my knee, my quad, everywhere.
Dean Thomas swears by it. He says it's the elixir of life. It's just like the best.
Hey, that, a little TRT. I'm feeling pretty good. I got abs at 51. But hey, RJ, let me ask you. Now you have an audience, you said, from, obviously from being on the air for 15 years. And you're saying you're getting other job offers. Are you looking to go into another like podcast for MMA or something like that? Or
I want to stay in MMA. Yeah. I mean, for sure it's going to be like, this is my passion. And that was, but my favorite thing about doing this is like, I love MMA. Like I love the UFC. I love being in radio. I love, broadcasting and all that stuff, but I just love this sport so much. And so, working behind the scenes at the UFC and on my radio show, in my little tiny small way, I get to kind of influence the sport a little bit, like maybe nudge it in this direction when like the suits want to go that direction. I feel like I don't have a lot of power, but I have a little bit, and I can push in the direction I want. So I'm just looking for a platform that could reach the most people as possible, where I can force my opinions on others and hopefully influence the sport for the better.
There's a going against the grain inside your bones, RJ, which I like. And I feel like that's epitomized in the weigh-in show. Talk to me about this, because it is the craziest UFC content piece I think I've ever seen.
I think it, and this is obviously extremely biased, but I think it's the best, with all due respect to this fantastic podcast. I think it's some of the best programming the UFC does outside of the actual real fights. So Dana White, and most people know this, is very particular about his programming, right? Like there's that red phone by his seat, octagon side, that goes to the truck to the producer that says, do this, do that. I hated this. I love that. Like he's still to this day, decades later, still intricately involved in everything. But when it's not the actual fights, he's a little more lenient. He's a little like, hey, the weigh-in show, this, podcasts, desk stuff. He's like not quite as particular because it's not the live product. So I feel like our boss, Zach Candido, has all these great ideas, all these gimmicks, all these gags, all these funny things to do that is just kind of pent up in his brain. And now he finally has a place to put it all. And that's the weigh-in show. And Lord knows he tries to shove every last wild, wacky idea he can into that 2.5 hours on Friday morning.
It's fun with Mr. Dean Thomas, no?
He's on the rotating. Yeah, he's a rotating host there. So it's usually, Dan Haley's the host, Laura Senko and Daniel Cormier. And then there's that fourth chair, which is, Chris Weidman. Yes. Your boy Aljo's been on there.
Love Aljo.
And then Dean's one of the regular rotators.
Maybe I'm wrong in feeling this way. Matt, you're built for the weigh-in show. I feel like you're perfect for that.
Oh, I don't know. I you never know when a fuck could fly out of my mouth. And also you got the earpiece in, and I got ADD, and it could be a hard time. I'm better suited for
how are you ranking your favorite top 10 southpaw flyweights while drinking a beer while getting shocked with a shock machine? Can you do all three at the same time?
That just sounds like a good time.
That's the casting couch to be on the weigh-in show. You have to pull that off.
I think I could have some fun with that. That is fun. Hey, before you got on, we were just talking about the rise and the rise to just a superstar. It feels like overnight with Ilia. I feel, and now the last time we seen anything like this was Conor McGregor, I would say, with what he did with at Madison Square Garden that night with Eddie Alvarez, becoming the double champ, and the performances he did with Aldo. I mean, it was that we haven't seen a combination of that confidence and swag and talking and backing it up the way somebody does, the way Ilia does. What is it about him besides obviously his fighting ability? I mean, what exactly? I mean, he's got that something. People got that it factor, and he's got that.
Yeah, and he's undefeated, which Conor McGregor wasn't at that point, right? He'd lost, and he'd lost a couple times before that. Well, Ilia's undefeated. Yeah, man. I mean, he's like, if you're trying to like build a fighter star, he's it, right? Like, good looking dude, supermodel girlfriend, sports car, salon quality hair. dude, I love the Spanish bit, right? Walking out to the song from Desperado, does the little rose thing. So, so Saturday, at the fights at T-Mobile Arena, I was working with Laura Senko doing quick hits. I was her producer for the segments called Quick Hits. And when Ilia Topuria did the rose thing, had the two belts around over his shoulder, does the rose, drops it on the canvas, I audibly heard Laura go, "Ooh." Like it's just like he's got it all done. He's got it all right. Man. Like how many dudes got laid that night because they brought their wife or girlfriend to see Ilia Topuria? They got all hot and bothered. And, I mean, he's got everything right. And and by the way, he might be the best goddamn fighter we've ever seen in our lives. On it's unfair. Yeah.
It's an unfair combination of excellence.
Fuck him.
After I seen Charles get a hold of him, that told me a lot. When he won the scramble to get on top in the takedown, and then he even in the short time it was down there, he was not. Usually, guys are fighting for their life down there. At one point, he was passing, and he had him in a crucifix, which he was stapling the arm, and I'm like, whoa, look at this! I'm like, oh my goodness! I'm like, what is going on here? And then when he's on the receiving end, even the leg attack, he just passing the knee line. He was not shook or at all anywhere. And I just wanted to see that with the grappling in the grappling range because Charles is so much bigger and he's such an assassin with his jiu-jitsu that even though it wasn't a lot of time in the grappling realm, it showed me a lot.
For sure. They're grappling wise, there are three things that stood out the most to me. The first one was because like Charles Oliveira, big lightweight, right? Long arms, broad shoulders, but he's not like a bully in the weight class, like an Arman Sarukian, Islam Makhachev, Mateusz Gamrot, like wrestler, like I'm just gonna like grind on you, drool on you, bully you. He's a submission artist, right? He's gonna attack you with submissions, which is really cool. When he got that deep body lock on Ilia Topuria was able to defend it, but I was like, you kind of bullied him a little bit. I wonder if what would happen if that lock was from Islam or Arman or Mateusz or something like that. The other two things that stood out was, to your point, like he was able to just do what he wanted on top of Charles Oliveira. And Charles Oliveira, you can speak to this better than I can, Matt, but I think he's got the most dangerous guard in all of the UFC. It's just attack, attack, attack. He's not like, control the elbows, relax, close the guard and hold. It's like triangle attempt, armbar attempt, leg lock, scramble. Like he's just going. And I think the biggest thing though is because I think if they both put on like no-gi grappling gear and went 10 minutes, I think Charles Oliveira wins the jiu-jitsu. But Ilia Topuria's full MMA game and striking specifically is so good. And you know this, Matt, it bleeds into the rest of the game. If you're uncomfortable standing and striking with somebody, once the fight goes into the clinch or in a scramble or on the ground, it's not like things are equal again. You're still kind of discombobulated. You're still kind of worried about what you just went through, and you're really not yourself. So I think as Ilia Topuria's grappling is fantastic. Remember, he was almost a complete submission artist before he came to the UFC. The rest of his MMA game and his striking is so good, it just bleeds and takes over these other places where on paper I should be better than Ilia Topuria here, but I'm not because I'm deathly afraid he's going to hit me with a hook and turn my head around like Daffy Duck.
Hey, Kevin Lee, I remember his fight. He's on hard times now, it seems. But, I mean, the second he got – because he has a wrestling background. So when he went to go to pull that card – the second hit the floor, he was out of a triangle into an armbar, into a leg lock. He could not settle in for an instant. So the fact that, again, it wasn't a long time down there, he did not look bad down there. He was matching him down there, and he wasn't getting in trouble. He was, at one point, again, he had him almost in a crucifix from cross-side. So that's something I want to see if he fights an Arman Shahukian, or a Gamrot. How is he going to who knows if he can get a submission? We're still yet to see, I think, the best of his grappling. I mean, I just saw a glimpse of the best guy on the floor. You know what I mean? Yeah. So these other guys, they might be better wrestlers. Are they better submission artists? I mean, to do damage down there, they got to give some space. And the one thing, being that he's only like an inch taller than me, is being that he's 5'7", I'm 5'7". I think he's like 5'7", 5'8", right? Ilia. I'm 5'6". every body type has its advantages and disadvantages. I was always very good at getting to my feet because you only need a little bit of space. He has a bit of a butterfly guard, a bit of a guard work. Boom, boom. He can match a little bit. Next thing you know, he's up. You know what I mean? Because he sounded very confident when he was talking about fighting Islam. Very confident. So I have a feeling he's a hard guy to keep down. You know?
Yeah, I think, and again, like his ability to just like make you so nervous standing, kind of, it makes it harder to do anything else around there. And I'm with you. Like I'm the same way. Like I got little T-Rex arms. I have my wingspan is the same as Sean Shirk's. Like it's embarrassing. When I drive my wife's car, I don't have to slide the seat forward. That's how short my arms and legs are. But to your point, Matt, I am great at scrambling out from bottom because you can't tangle up arms that don't exist, right? Like you just push them up and go, and you're up and out of there. So yeah, I would love to see Ilia in a couple things. In a really extended clinch match with a fully sized lightweight that can wrestle. And I would love to see him in some scrambles. I would love to see someone gets an outside, head outside single. He sits to the butt, grab, start rolling around and see who ends up on top. Like I can't speak higher of Ilia Topuria, but that's why I'm on this quest to find out like where aren't you good? Where aren't you really, really good? And it's getting a lot harder to as a deep level after level after level. It's getting harder to find that place.
And he took on a short notice fight one time just to show that he has perseverance and can fight through if he's hurt. That time he took a head kick from Herbert.
Yep.
That could be
I think that's the key. I think
kick him in the head? Kick him in the head?
Right. Here's a wild analysis. Knocking him out. That's the key to beating him. There you go. Enjoy it. No, but like because he's so boxing centric, if you can kick or like knee up the middle, I think, and he's shorter, I think that's, I don't know. If you're game planning against him, Matt, like if you're going to corner against him, what's your game plan?
Well, I mean, it depends on my fighter, but like, let's say Paddy, he's very long and he's going to be kick heavy. He's got very good, he's good at that kicking range. And then when guys go to get past it, everything from jumping, trying, his jiu-jitsu is that would be very interesting. How is that going to look on the floor if it goes to the floor? That's interesting. Paddy's jiu-jitsu looks very good. I mean, he looks very dangerous, Yeah. He gets that high overhook. He jumps into triangles in more than one fight. I mean, I don't know. I think that'd be an interesting fight of range. Could he get past the kicks to get a hold of him? Ilia. So that'd be very interesting. Well, hey, listen, while I got you here, only because it's funny. I was saying I want to give the guy more shine. Meanwhile, we were talking to Ilia for 25 minutes, which is fine. But man, Pantoja, I can't say enough about this guy. People talk about, and I love, of course, Merab's stories. It's something out of a movie where they come here from another country. And next thing they're in the UFC, yet they're still doing a 9 to 5. Merab was doing construction. Pantoja was driving around at Uber Eats. He was delivering food, man. So it's like to see that journey. Now he's here defending his belt for the 4th time. He's finishing everybody. Mm-hmm. He's a soft-spoken Brazilian guy. He's hardworking. I mean, this guy should get more shine. I mean, what he just did to what he does. Hey, should be working on your sprawl instead of fucking dance.
I was gonna say, did you guys make an official ruling on that thing? That did you guys like it, dislike it, corny, intimidating? Okay,
I like it. Listen, it's culturally relevant. I love the display of the background. But I have seen many fans suggest if you've been stopped several times before, maybe don't do it as often, right? I feel like that's some narrative that's been suggested. I'm always a big Kai Kara France guy, though. Just wasn't his night.
Yeah, it's kind of corny to me, but when you stop and think about it, there's nothing more corny than a face-off, right? Like how often are two men just like this to each other, right? And it's like, I hate you so much, I'm gonna beat you up, I'm so angry, I'm gonna fight you tomorrow. Yeah. So I'm just gonna kind of hold, it kind of just brings it all weird. But no, to your point, man, like remember Kai Kara France and Pantoja fought at the Ultimate Fighter and it went to a decision. Now he got finished in the 3rd round. Like Pantoja's 35 and getting better. He's not declining. He's only getting better. And I don't know if you guys have talked about that 35-year-old curse, right? Fighters lightweight and below, 35 years and older, they never win. He's 35 and he looked great. on Saturday, and he beat a guy that presumably should be getting better. Kai's much younger. And you talk about grappling, man. Like I was just tweeting back and forth with William from Open Note Grappling, really great analyst when it comes to grappling, and he's going through how Kai like pulls him into the crab ride, and then he makes the adjustments, and then we're just like, oh, the second Kai, it's like when you're in a rear standing, you do the wrestling escape, right? You push the hands down, you put your hips out and spin. Pantoja waited till the second Kai posted, because the next move is extending your hips, which is the perfect time to pull him back into a crab ride. Like I've watched that sequence 20 times, not till the 21st time that I see those little nuances and like see like his brilliance. Like he's predicting, like he predicts these things. Like he's two steps ahead of everybody.
Beautiful control when he hits with the control with the jiu-jitsu. He's not just diving for submission; he's controlling them. And I saw that same thing with the crab ride. And even when he was on the floor and he didn't get it quite, he kicked the legs out more, do a little butt scoop, get a hook in, lean into the triangle. It was just masterful. He was just control. Once he got that triangle, I'm like, all right, it's either over or this. He has this round easily. That first round should have been like a 10-8 round, because it was just total domination. I don't think Kai got anything off. He just got taken down and controlled like a kid. I mean, it just shows you the level of jiu-jitsu. His jiu-jitsu was spot on. Even with his last fight with I forgot the gentleman's name. It was
Kai Azakura.
Yes, and that he was dynamic. He was all over the place. Yeah. He couldn't keep up the pace. He does to close that distance. Guys who have been around, they know to use the strikes to set up the takedown. But usually it's a 1 or 2 3, 1 2 3 shoot, 1 2 shoot. He'll throw 4 5 6 7 combination and get you going backwards. Kai was falling over himself trying to fucking get away from the barrage. So it's just so impressive. It really is.
We talk about how with the experience and age, he just keeps getting better, RJ. But on the opposite side of the coin, you got a kid in Josh Van who is just accelerating up the rankings, strapped up to a rocket ship at UFC 317 against Brandon Royval. What does he present to Pantoja that Alexandre hasn't seen in these 4 title defenses?
The best counter-punching combinations in the division, and maybe second best in the UFC behind Ilia Topuria. Like the way Royval, like anytime he throw anything, Joshua Van just slip, body, head, slip, head, body, head. And it's just like hooks and clean. And he's much shorter. I think he was giving up like 3 inches in reach off the top of my head. Yeah. And just his ability. And Pantoja, like his striking is opposite of his jiu-jitsu. His jiu-jitsu is like super clean, super technical, a step ahead. While his striking is just kind of like, I'm just going to be this wall of violence and hope good things happen, right? Like he's not that far removed from throwing like 3 just like right hands in a row while rushing a dude. Joshua Van and his team have to be licking their chops, thinking like, some reckless overhand rights, just boop, 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 just like slip and go. So I think he presents some serious issues with his counter punching against Pantoja, but on the same side, like Van's not a huge finisher. Like there's not many at 125, like guys that can just knock you out with one punch at flyweight. So he's got to be able to do that for 25 minutes without getting taken down, without getting his back taken, without getting rear naked choked. He's going to have to really put the fear of God in Pantoja with his counter striking to keep. You were talking about how Ilia Topuria's striking bleeds into everything else, makes you uncomfortable. Joshua Van has to do that to Pantoja, and so far, like guys have beat Pantoja, nobody has made him uncomfortable. He's always been able to do what he wants with impunity. So Van's got an uphill battle, but I'm here for it.
That Brandon Royval fight was the perfect fight for him to see where he's at. Yeah, and it shows that he's there at such a young age too. It's scary.
Can we talk about how insane it is? Like I have never I've been my first UFC I went to was UFC 34 in 2001. I have never in my life seen a fighter fight and then immediately be called to say, you're sitting octagon side watching the championship fight in your weight class, and then you're going in the cage to face off with them. We've seen that happen when like the champion's in attendance and he knows it's the number 1 contender fight and he'll go in, or there's already like a number 1 contender crowned in the audience from months ago and he'll walk in. Normally when you hear at the press conference, people ask Dana White, hey, how about this fight? How about this fight? Like, we don't make fights on fight night. We don't match make. We'll wait till the Tuesday matchmaking meeting, then we'll figure it out. Dana, like, as soon as that fight was over and Vance's hand was raised, like, he had to have been on the phone and be like, Shelby, book it. That's the title fight. Get Van, tell him to shower, get him through medicals, and get him over here because he's fighting the winner of this co-main event. That never happens.
I want to ask about the activity because what could create such a spectacular circumstances? Maybe this kid just saying yes all the time. Van fighting 9 times since June 2023. In the last 113 days, right, about 4 months, he's competed 3 times in the UFC. So RJ, when you think about the blueprint for success in the modern UFC era, maybe it's just, hey, anytime that phone rings, boom, I don't care. Give it to me.
Yeah. 6 times in less than a year. I mean, the guy just goes, right? And when you're 23, you can do that, you know? Like, I remember being 23. I could drink a pitcher of beer, have 7 shots, get hit by a bus, and still make training the next morning, right? When you're 23. So Joshua Van, he can keep that schedule. He says yes. The matchups have worked for him. And he's just getting so, like, and you know this, guys, like, when you're 23 and you've only been pro for like 3 years, I think it was, something like that. No, 4. Excuse me. Almost, yeah, so 3.75 years. Every month you get exponentially better when you haven't been training that long, right? You've been training 20. That's why it's so crazy. Pantoja is getting better at 35. When you're 23, you've only been pro for less than 4 years. Like, you make giant steps. Like, he may be a completely different fighter 6 months from now when he fights Pantoja.
Sky's the limit for that kid. I can't wait to see what's next. Listen, I know you walked away from the serious thing. I want you to come back on in the future. Visit us. You're fun to talk to. You know your shit, RJ. Really quick, plug your podcast, Autumn Windbags.
So I am currently a free agent with mixed martial arts, but I do have a Las Vegas Raiders podcast, Giant Raiders fan. It's the Autumn Windbags, available on YouTube and podcast. Check it out. For all things MMA for now, you're just going to have to follow me on social media at RJ Clifford MMA on X and Instagram.
Awesome. RJ, thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Of course. Anytime, boys.
All right. And good luck on your venture with that. I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
Good seeing you, RJ.
Yeah, RJ. Sweaty. Get ready for battle. Paddy, what's up? Paddy the Daddy?
What's happening? Yeah, just done some training then, lad. Just stepped off the mat, sweaty.
Man, you're doing listen to me. You're doing something right. And I noticed you didn't blow up like you normally do. That's a good thing.
I know what, I'm still a little bit heavy, but I don't look as fat because I've got more muscle now.
Yeah,
there you go. It's hiding. It's hiding it.
Daddy, just so you know, I used to get the same shit from everybody. I don't walk around. I'm 5'6" though, so it looks worse on me. I was a little meatball. Yeah. You hold it well, you know. Paddy, 6-0 in the UFC, man. The other night, it just I know Dana wasn't. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, fuck. What did I just say?
No, come on.
My producer's gonna get smacked. Hey, producer, come on, man. You gotta count that shit. 6-0 my ass. What's the matter with this? But Paddy, personally, I know Dana wasn't crazy about it, but I kind of liked you in the ring the other night. I liked you in the cage. I like some drama in my fighting.
Everyone does. I mean, everyone likes a bit of drama, and it's not like I just jumped over the fucking fence and got myself in there. He asked for me. You know what I mean? He said, "Where's Paddy?" and that. So,
listen. There's something to be said. You're not some guy in the nosebleed saying, "I want to fight the champ." You're making quite the name for yourself with your victories. You're answering the call every time you've been called out there, and with your bad blood, it just seems like it's just, and he wants it, you want it, the fans want it. What's going on? Oh, there's rumors going around with you and Justin Gaethje. Let's address it.
Well, the Justin Gaethje thing, I seen DDP saying I'm fighting him in August. There is no way that I am fighting at 155 in August. If Gaethje wants to fight me at 170, then maybe, but I'm definitely not fighting at 155 in August. There's no chance. I said I'd fight in October in Abu Dhabi, and I still will. But obviously, if Topuria wants to fight me, lad, and I can fight for the belt, why wouldn't I? And it's quite annoying that people are like, oh, he's only beat Michael Chandler. When lad, Charles' last fight was Michael Chandler before he got a title shot, and he went decision with him and nearly got finished in the 5th. I've just decimated Michael Chandler for 3 rounds, and then even before that, Bobby Green, I beat. People like, oh, he's washed. Islam beat him and got a title shot, and I finished him quicker than Islam did.
I'm curious because Matt mentioned the bad blood, and Paddy, this rivalry to Topuria goes back to 2022. What is the genesis of the beef here? You've called them all things like a hand sanitizer bottle. What is the issue with you and Topuria?
It was just when I got signed by the UFC, his mate Goodham tweeted something about me, so I tweeted something back, and then every single Georgian fighter took it the wrong way, and then I ended up saying something else, and then they took that even more the wrong way. What annoys me that Topuria still to this day on podcasts goes around saying, Paddy said that he's happy that bombs got dropped on Georgia by Russia and killed kids. I'm like, I never said that. Like, stop making things up to make you look like the good guy here. When you see me in a hotel when I was on my own and you were with 10 of your team and you tried to jump me.
Yeah. Do you think that there's a superficial nature to Ilia Topuria, right? He has this superstar aura. Everything seems to be excellent, but do you think that it's a bit of a facade?
No, he's trying to be Conor McGregor, isn't he? You know what I mean? He's got the same tattoos. He's got he even said the other day, I'm going to put my balls on your forehead to me, which is sort of what McGregor said to Chad Mendes.
Yeah.
Like, he's just a carbon copy of McGregor. And I think if some people can't see through that, even though you see some people now saying he's better than McGregor, but he's not. In the prime at the same time, McGregor would have knocked him out with a straight left. But, against everyone else he's fought, he's not emotional. Topuria, he goes in very stoic. Against me, he's emotional. You know what I mean? Even the other day, pushing me. I was never going to lay hands on him. I'm not that stupid. I know if I lay hands on him, I don't get that fight. So I just called him a little boy and got under his skin, as I always do, and he pushed me.
Now, let's do one of those exercises. I think they do this in therapy, right? When you have someone you despise or something, but they make you find something, a compliment you could give this person. I don't know. I was never in therapy. I probably fucking need it.
I do respect him as a fighter. I don't respect him as a human being, but I respect him as a fighter. He's very good. No, I'm not going to sit here and say he's not good, because he is. Like, he sits there and says, I'm not good, but I am. Know what I mean? Like, I'm good, but I know he's good. So I'm not going to sit and go, oh, no, he's shit, he's not this, he's not that. Lad, he's a fucking brilliant fighter. Like, the last 3 people he's beat just shows that, even though they were all like, Volk fought him 3 months after getting knocked out. Holloway has had a career of damage, and then Oliveira, that was the worst game plan I've ever seen anyone go into a world title fight with. Stand in front of someone who can knock you out and just let him punch you in the face. But one thing I do like about him now, after being there the other night, is his walkout.
Yeah.
Oh,
I like this walkout, lad. I thought that was good.
Now, when you look at it, when I look at a paper, like, styles make fights. Who's going to master the range? Like, in other words, your kicking range is great. You keep guys at range, and when they manage to get through that, your grappling is very high level. Whether they try to clinch you up against the cage, of getting that overhook into triangles, and very high level. I mean, Bobby Green found that out when he shot in on you. The transition from the triangle to the guillotine to the triangle, just beautiful stuff. I don't want to talk too much game plan with you, but I'm smelling a similar game plan. I'm smelling you looking to just try to kick the shit out of him. Yes? No.
Yeah.
Pretty
much. Same as like when I fought Chandler. Know what I mean? Same as when I fought Chandler. Keep him on the end of my range. Don't let him land his power shot. And I'd kick him everywhere. I genuinely think I could knock him out, to be honest. Just by kicking him and then punches on the end of them kicks. But I know for a fact if I get on top of him, he's not getting up. Like, the size difference is huge. People don't realise that until I get in there with people. Like, I made Michael Chandler look small. I made Bobby Green look like a featherweight. Imagine how big I'll be compared to Ilia Topuria.
And he's tall, and Chandler, because he's stocky, you think he's actually shorter than he is. I thought he's my height. I thought he's like 5'6". He's like 5'9". He's big. I think he's taller than Ilia.
Yeah. Yeah, he is. He's definitely taller than Ilia. Like, and as I say, Topuria, when he started to jump me, he's already threw a punch at me and missed. You know what I mean? When I'm actually prepared for it, I can make him miss for 25 minutes.
Yeah. I want to change gears a little bit, Paddy, and take it to the top 10, because the only other guy I'd say in the top 10 that has an argument besides you is Arman Tsarukyan. But I think current sentiment towards him is he's going to have to work his way back into the brass's good graces. Is that something you share? What does Arman need to do at this point in his career?
Well, he needs to win another fight, doesn't he? You know what I mean? Like, even the higher ups in the UFC have said that, and no one gives a fuck about Arman Tsarukyan, lad. Like, no one cares about him. Like, he's boring. He split decision Charles in a fight which I think could have went either way. I think Charles could have won that fight. It just depends how subjective you are with your scoring. But as I say, I think he's boring. He's got no personality. He's just a little rich boy who's had everything handed to him on a plate, so he expects a title shot to get handed to him. Go and win another fight. Know what I mean? Personally, I think he is a good fight for Topuria. Looking at the division, I personally think that Arman Tsarukyan's the toughest fight for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like the style, like as Matt was saying, then styles make fights, lad, and that's why it makes me laugh when everyone's like, "Oh, Paddy doesn't stand a chance against Topuria," when styles make fights. Know what I mean? Like, how you game plan for that person is going to completely change the style of fight that you have. As I said then, I love Charles Oliveira, but his game plan is one of the worst game plans I've ever seen in a UFC fight. It was absolutely embarrassing. Just walk out and stand in front of someone with knockout power when you've been chin checked about 700 times in previous fights.
I saw a few of those kicks. I thought he would be going a little bit more heavy with that.
Same. First 20 seconds, he come out and he kicked him a few times, and I was like, "Oh yeah, he's using the blueprint." And then just bit down on his gum shield and started swinging with the hardest puncher in the in the lower weight classes.
You know, I don't know when it's set for Madison Square Garden, but Michael Bisping believes that a fight between you and Ilia Topuria. Did you say this already? What's the matter?
No, you called him Michael Biscuit.
Did I call him Biscuit? Did I call him Biscuit? Michael Biscuit? Michael Bisping. And I'm friends with Michael. Holy fuck, I didn't even realize that. You know what that makes me think of when you talk about how the sweets are so much better in England.
Yeah.
I don't know why I just thought of that. I'm thinking of biscuits now.
Yeah.
You're hungry.
I'm friends with Michael. I don't believe I just called him a fucking biscuit. I might have a trouble with Michael now. No, but his point was Michael Biscuit, not Biscuit. I'm like, why are you guys laughing? But he and I kind of see this too. Madison Square Garden for you and Ilia. That would be fucking phenomenal, wouldn't it?
Would. But like Steve saying into after the fight, like I'm ready for Paddy the end of the year. So it wouldn't surprise me if he Vegas December. But I've never fought in MSG, so it'll be nice to fight in MSG. At some point in my career, I'm definitely going to fight there. So why not for the lightweight title?
Shit, man. When I was fighting, it wasn't even legal at Madison Square Garden.
Sort of a random one to toss at you, Paddy, that we've got is about your interests, because you're so diverse and varied in the sports that you're at. I've seen you at baseball games, obviously at football matches. If you could get an autograph from any athlete, living or dead, who are you picking? Who is kind of like the number one athlete of all time for you?
That's a tough one, that lad. I'd probably have one from like each different sport. You know what I mean? Like
any sport.
There's too many. Like serious. Like I'm not really big on F1, but I really like Serra. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's died obviously. So Roger Federer is one of my sporting heroes. So Federer. I've heard Michael Jordan's autograph's worth a lot of money. So Michael Jordan.
Get that one.
Yeah. Football. If I'm going with someone who's died, I'd probably say Garincha. He won the World Cup with Brazil in 58 and 62. Trying to think of other sports. Well, I met my MMA hero the other day, lad. I got a picture with him for Big Nog. He's like me fighter. He's me fighter who when I first started watching MMA, I loved.
Minotauro?
Yeah.
Oh man, listen, his battles in Pride back in the day, they were great.
That was how I got into, you know what I mean? I first started watching the sport late 2009, and then obviously YouTube was about. I was just going back and watching loads of fights and watching him beat like Bob Sapp and have battles with like Joe Cop and Fedor and that. Like I just thought this man is a legend.
Bob Sapp, he wouldn't pass USADA.
No, he wouldn't.
I think the testing would explode the fucking test. But
he wouldn't even make weight, would he? He's about 370 pounds.
Fail the test and miss weight. That's how you do it.
sometimes I miss the freak shows a little bit over in Pride. I miss those things. Don't you?
The only thing is, like when I've read interviews since and watched interviews, I wish he never I know it's unbelievable. That was one of the fights that got me into Big Knob because like he got slammed on his head about 12 times and then still won against the bigger man, showing that it's all about technique and skill. I've seen him say in interviews after that his body was never the same after it, and it was because of that fight. Like fights after it, he still felt injuries. What Bob Sapp gave him.
I mean, it was a ridiculous. I mean, that's like fighting the Hulk. You know what I mean?
And then after that fight, Bob Sapp would get it with a jab and start crying.
Oh yeah, Bob Sapp was an interesting guy. Sometimes he'd go in there, balls to the wall. Other times you see him like a big baby.
Yeah, and just start crying.
And then
inconsistency
because of his size. I think it was Ernesto he took out some legit kickboxers that are doing technical kickboxing, and then he just be like, I mean, it was like Lenny from Mice and Men or some shit. Oh no, that was fucking crazy.
There's so many other big updates, right, that we've seen from you. You're now a father to twins. How is dad life treating you? How has that molded your perspective towards fighting?
It's not easy, it's definitely not easy, but you enjoy it, take the good with the bad, lad. It's boss having 2 little babies there, but now that's like what I have to look after. I'm not just fighting for myself and my team, and then I'm fighting for my family. I'm fighting to put food on the table. So when you feel like quitting, they're the first thing that comes to mind.
How old are your children?
Nearly 15 months.
Oh, okay, that's fine. That gets better and better too. It gets fun, It gets. I mean, my daughter.
I hope it gets easier.
Say again?
Yeah, it gets easier.
I hope it gets easier.
100%. It'll be less stressful at the house. Right now, who's cranky because they got to deal with the kid? Everything gets smoother. Trust me. I know what it's like when having young kids in the house. Me and my, you know what I mean? Might have been the toughest time for me and my wife. I'm sure it's going swimmingly for you. I'm just saying, but it does get smoother. It gets better. My kids are competing in jiu-jitsu, and that's fun. Paddy, you got to have a ball, man. You plan on having a big family, or are you guys done now?
Well, I need a son. You know what I mean? I've got twin girls, so I need at least a son. I need to carry on my family name. Goes without saying.
I think God's doing what he did to me, a former coxman. I got 3 daughters. So listen, it's the way the universe works. You know what I mean? We have to, but it's a beautiful thing. I will tell you this, being the father of 3 daughters, Paddy, I don't have to raise a man. I just got to make sure my girls don't have any daddy issues. I love my daughters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I know it's a different animal raising a boy. You got a man you got to raise. Right now, you just got to give your daughters love. It's a beautiful thing, when you're not practicing decapitating anybody. Hey, really quick, you watching it? I got a show for you, Paddy. You have to watch it. You watch Mobland?
No, I've heard mixed reviews, to be honest, but I really like Tom Hardy, so I think I'm going to watch it just for Tom Hardy.
Well, listen, man, I don't want to come out of retirement. Who's saying that this is a bad show? Because I have a problem with it.
I've heard a few people in the UK, saying it's got like a couple of bad accents in and stuff like that.
Oh, I don't know about listen, I got a horrible accent. I don't know, but on the show, man, Tom Hardy is just so fucking money. I can't say enough about that guy. Anything he's in. Are you
Tom
watching?
Hardy's the man. Tom Hardy's a great actor.
I love that he's doing jiu-jitsu too.
And he does jiu-jitsu. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Are you streaming anything now? Are you watching anything with your wife? I always like to get turned on to new shows.
Not really at the minute because we've just been getting the babies to bed. They've been staying in the bed with us while we're here. But she had me watching something on Netflix the other day. It's a proper chick thing, like Ginny and Georgia or something it's called. She had me watching that, lad.
That's mom television right there. That's mom TV, 100%.
I've just been going to bed with the babies and putting Disney on, lad. Moana, Lilo and Stitch, Toy Story, Monsters Inc.
I've been there. There's times after a couple of my fights where I take my kids to go see like Yo Gabba Gabba on Radio City, and I'd have all scars on my face. I'm like, they're like, is it that kid belong to you? Yo, Paddy, man, listen. You've always been fucking great with us, dude. I can't be. We're happy for you. You know what I mean? I love seeing you shine, and I can't wait to see what's next for you, man. I hope you get the shot. If not, Scousers don't get knocked out. Take out whoever's next, and fucking, I'm sure you'll be fighting for the gold.
I just think it's the right time to make it. I don't care what anyone says. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not asked if I'm only rank 8. Khalil Rountree was like rank 8 or 7 when he fought Pereira and give him the best fight he's had up to that point. You know what I mean? Like, the rankings are just there as like a basis. But now Jones is retired and there's no Aspinall Jones. The only bigger fight you can make versus me Ilia is Islam versus Ilia, because it's pound for pound 1 versus pound for pound 2. That's like the only bigger fight you can make.
And in this sport, you can't just make a superstar. You have to have that kind of it. You have to have that buzz about you. Ilia has that. You have that. You've always answered the call. Anybody they put in front of you, you bested. Hey, man, I hope you get it.
I just love proving people wrong, lad. And I'll keep doing it. And I'd do it again with a fourth Ilia. And I'd give all the fans out there and Max, Alex, and Charles a bit of revenge. And
can I just say, and you don't have, I know you said you never talk about it. I don't want you to, but as an old school guy that got into this before there was money into it, you handled an online beef and you handled it the right way. You didn't, and you even said, guys are so quick to pick up a knife or a gun, or you handled some business. I'll just say that people can find it online, and you handled it like a fucking man. You showed up over there, and I agree with everything that was, I loved it. I'm just saying that. You don't have to say it.
That is right, though. Nowadays, this day and age, it's probably even worse in America because you can get guns. But in the UK, it's people grab knives and just, instead of having a fight with someone and shaking hands after it, you'll go and stab them. And they won't just ruin the other person's life who they've stabbed and killed and their family's life. They'll ruin their own life because they're going to jail for the rest of their life and their family's life.
That's
people just have a fight with someone, stand up and shake your hand.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I think that set a great example for today's youth. I think it did. You know what I mean? On both sides. Also, you talk shit, you got to answer for it too.
Exactly. Like social media nowadays, people hide behind their phone, hide behind their social media handle when the shit's still real, man.
No, people don't realize that they could still get smacked. You know what I mean? I had a little interviewer interview me recently, like a little rude kid, and thank God I was at my jiu-jitsu school. I had my 12-year-old roll to my daughter, and she put a little beating on him. It was so fucking. I'm like, I can't do nothing to you, kid. I was like shocked. I got blindsided by a little fucker. So I go, I remember my kids, and I go, Maria, this kid's giving me a hard time. My daughter strangled the shit out of him. I put it on my Instagram, got like 37,000 views. Paddy, Pimblett, Paddy the Daddy. Dude, you are entertainment in and out of the cage. I wish I could do that fucking dance you do. But you do it fucking great. You do it fucking great. You see Molly McCann. Tell her I said hello. She's a friend.
Yeah, I will do. Molly's a belter, isn't she?
No, she's fucking great. She's great. Hey, Paddy, man. All our best, man. We're fans.
Thank you, Paddy.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You got it, Paddy. Take care, bro. When you get that shot, please come back on. Or before. Doesn't matter. Anytime.
You know that I will do 100%. Thank you very much.
Take care, Baddy.
What a nice guy.
Dude, he's
salt to the earth, man. I feel like so many fans had this mixed, skewed perspective on Pimblett when he came into the UFC because of his theatrics, but he has just grown up so fantastically in front of our eyes. And now he's a legit fucking contender. Like, this kid could be the next guy to challenge for the strap.
Listen, they put him in there with Bobby Green. They thought that was going to be expose him. He put him away. What he did to Michael Chandler was just a thing of beauty. And Michael Chandler, people could say what they want about his choice of tactics or strategy or lack of or whatever. But he is a handful. He's been in there with the best of them, and he's beaten some of the best of them. And he's, the way Paddy went in there and handled business, it definitely wasn't a lucky shot. It wasn't a Hail Mary. It was a controlled fight from the beginning to the end, and it was a beatdown. So. And
again, when you think about the nature of the lightweight division, it is beautifully set up for him to kind of come in and I don't want to say steal this shot because he's absolutely earned it, but like, you can't give a shot to Arman Tsarukyan. UFC brass has made that clear. Oliveira, done. Gaethje, I don't think he's getting a shot off of the win over Fiziev. Holloway's certainly not getting a shot, right? Because he's fighting Poirier, who's the next guy in the rankings, who's not getting a shot. Dan Hooker, not getting a shot. Gamrot, probably not. Dariush, unlikely. Like, this is just all perfectly falling in position for the Scouser.
and the fact that they have the history with each other. And listen, this is not no, hey man, let's just give it to him because he's good on the mic. No, man, he beat everybody you put in front of him.
Exactly.
So, hey man, I'm excited for things to come. Ben, let me tell you, what do you got going on? Talk to me. Let's plug some stuff for you. This show's over. We had this went too fast.
It's Matt, Serra. It's always a fun time, man. Time flies with you.
We just bullshit. Have a good time. Go ahead. Tell me what you got going on.
Yeah, man. So we got season 41 of MTV's The Challenge, my reality TV show debut, July 30th on MTV. You can catch some of my other mixed martial arts work on Bally's and Stadium's show, Combat Zone, that I'm hosting. And then, as always, at Ben the Bane Davis on all platforms, specifically the Twitter. That's where it gets really fiery.
Hey, Ben, do me a favor. When we get off here, I want you to go to YouTube and subscribe to the Matt Serra channel, please.
If Matt, you think I'm not already subbed? Come on, I'm already subbed, baby.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you. We planned that. No, yeah, I'm having fun with that. I'll tell you right now, I did a movie reaction with my buddy Aljamain Sterling.
Yeah,
and we did it for Sinners, that Michael B. Jordan. Like, all the comments, people hate us. They're like, we're missing plot points. They're like, oh my goodness, this guy sucks. Aljo, who's your buddy? They're killing us in the thing. But we had so much fun. And I'm having a good time on there, man.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters. Come on. If you're having fun, the comments can go fuck themselves.
Hey, Ben the Bane Davis, thank you so much. If that sounded weird, I almost belched. I don't believe that I called Michael Bisping Michael Biscuit.
I think we'll run back the instant replay. I think there might have been a slip up.
It might have been. I don't know when it's set for Madison Square Garden, but Michael Biscuit.
A Sarah slip up. But that's a great nickname. Michael Biscuit. That's a great nickname.
You know what's so funny? I got such ADD. When you guys started laughing, I go, fuck. I go, was I in another world? Did Ben just ask him this question? That's what I thought. What was going on? That was what I thought. The fuck is going on? Hey, I love Michael Bisping too. Hey, listen. Before too long, come back on, Ben. Jimmy's spread. He's on. He's in Texas. I just saw him on Rogan. He didn't even tell me he's going on there. And I'm sure we'll be talking soon, buddy. I want you to and everybody listening, have a nice 4th of July.
Nice, safe 4th of July, baby. Drink responsibly.
Yeah, man. Be careful with those M80s. They just go. They're loud. Get the colorful shit. Don't lose any digits. All right, Ben, man, I'll talk to you soon, brother. Thank you, everyone. It's been real. Take care, Ben.